falls and we belong. Say you're high, raise your hands up to the sky. Feel the energy glow. Celebrate the day and life. That twinkle in the night so bright, light and fast with gentle light. Goes of the past we hear, carry it all so clear. Words blend in harmony, life's a vibrant tapestry. Every beat a story told. Patient wisdom, pure as gold. The rivers lead you high. Raise your hands up to the sky. Feel the energy ignite. Celebrate the day and life. Rise of the sun in the morning light, drums in the distance take flight. Heartbeats echo through the trees, dancing shadows in the breeze. Feel the pulse of the ancient land, footprints mark the golden sun. Voices harmonize the song. Nature calls and we belong.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. RIA online webinar. My name is Willem.
Hey, Bab, can you hear me? I think you're breaking off a little bit, but hopefully you should be able to stabilize your signal. Let me know. Can you hear me well? She should hopefully be able to hear us.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, excellent. So yes, I just wanted to say that we can hear you. If you can restart again, please, but that's fine. Let's go.
All right, no problem. Tony, maybe if I am continuing to have signal issues, if you can just text me on WhatsApp.
Okay, so can you okay. You have some signal issue? Can you hear me well?
No, I can hear you well, but I'm saying if I'm breaking
No, you're
on your
good.
side.
You're good.
Okay.
You're
All right.
good. Yes, carry on.
All right. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another online webinar, a RIA online webinar. My name is Labalamni, and I'll be your moderator for today. I'm truly excited about this particular topic because it speaks to a lot of us, especially who are building our careers. This particular topic is about what does the future of hiring look like? And to help us think through this, we have some amazing industry experts that are going to be walking us through. But we're going to be focusing on a particular new up and coming platform called BHiveLive. An amazing platform where young professionals like myself can simply be on the waiting list and boom, just like that, you have an opportunity of a lifetime to be a part of an energy product with the energy project, with business wind, solar, and beyond. And to walk us through this amazing topic and also very important topic, particularly in our climate, is the also amazing Tony Tio from RIA, as well as Dave Reeve from Beehive Life. I'd love to open the floor up to themselves to give a warm introduction to you all.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. So, Bab, and I appreciate that, and you coming in and supporting us. So, for once, obviously, I'm not doing the moderation, so I'm just going to be enjoying it. And pleasure to have you. So, I'm Tony Teo, founder and CEO of Renewables in Africa. As you know, it's all about raising awareness about renewables energy in the
Mm.
continent and beyond. And then our jobs here is to help companies like Dave with three things. Get them the visibility, leads, and the deals that they need in order to deploy the fantastic products and services that they have for the continent and for the global industry. So yeah, I'm just gonna pass it over to Dave. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. My name's Dave Reese, and I'm the founder of BHiveLive. I've been in the renewables industry now for about 30 years, specifically on the blade side. I've worked for OEMs, I've worked as an independent service provider, and also a contractor. And during this time, I've found it very difficult on many levels to find the right people, and that was where BHiveLive was born. So happy to be here.
Excellent. So Bab, yeah.
Thank you so much, Dave, just for walking us through it exactly. Also, what was the inspiration behind Beehive Live? And I know that is something that a lot of us as professionals, whether young professionals and mature professionals being in the space, definitely relate to. At this particular point in time, I would like to welcome our audience and to also bring you guys involved into the conversation of what we're talking about. And this is the point where we will be opening up a poll. We want to find out from you guys what is the take that you guys have on this particular topic. And the first question, if I may, Tony, is how long does it typically take for you to find the renewable energy role that you might be looking for? So we have a couple of options that will be popping up on your side. Please select your option and then we can move on to the next question.
Yeah. 1 second, I'm just gonna launch it to my side as well so that they could see that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm just gonna have that. And yes, I have launched it. So normally you should be able to see that. Yeah.
Amazing. So let us know, guys, what your take is. How long does it actually take you to find your next renewable energy project? And there's always projects that are coming in the space. And so moving from one project to another can sometimes be daunting. And I think this question also helps us to understand just what young people like myself in the space might be struggling with. Can I move on to the next question, Tony?
Yes, I think they could all see that, but yeah, carry on. Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. I think this was a very open one as well. And this is where we'd like to understand, are you currently using any recruitment platforms? And if also in the chat box, feel very free to write how your experience is of them, what your experience is, what your take is, what you think could make them better. But please let us know, what current recruitment platforms are you using? And if you have a frustration, just drop it in the chat box. What does that frustration look like? If you use them occasionally, what would make you use them more frequently, as just whether that's building trust on your end or on the platform's end. And then I'll move on to our third question, and that is, would you like your employees to be able to find your profile directly without applying? And I think this also has a lot to do around data privacy and also how open you feel as a candidate, because today's conversation is all about you as the candidate. We want to learn more about. So I'll just be giving everyone a chance to open and answer all of those questions. And this for us is the point where we get to learn more about you as the audience. I think, Tony, before we go into our next segment, I'd love to just jump in and ask a question to you. So I'd like to answer probably one of these questions. This is the first one. Just being in the space for how long you've been in, and Dave, you're welcome to answer this question as well. With the 30 years under your belt, how long did it typically take for you guys to find your next renewable energy role, especially when you were coming into the industry as and getting to expert level?
Okay, so interesting, because me, when I started, I remember I was coming from another industry, from the automotive industry. So it took me a very long time, I'll say, definitely at least 6 to 9 months to get something. And in fact, even find a job within the company that was employing me already, I just negotiated to up and up, let's say, or at least to start getting some news about the renewable energy sector for them. So obviously having no skill at all and looking to, but that's obviously that was around 2010 you're talking about. It's probably different now, but it took me some time. Now, so as a business owner, uh, finding a new opportunity, I would say, yeah, 3 to 6 months, that could be the lead time. But you're constantly having to engage to people, constantly.
And thank you for answering that question, because I think it also gives just people a reality in terms of also experts in the space when they started off. What did it look like for them? And also as they're in the space, having developed and evolved, what does that time frame look for them from whether it's one business opportunity to another? And I also would love to pose this question to Dave, but I think as the founder, the co-founder of this platform, it would be so powerful to hear his insight as well on how long did it typically take for you to find your next renewable energy role, having been in the space for 50 years?
Well, firstly, getting into renewables was very different back in '95. I actually transitioned from maritime. So I was making hovercrafts and boats at the time, and the renewable industry wasn't as well known as it is today. So it was actually quite easy because it was just a new job. And back then there was plenty of jobs, plenty of scope. Now the work is there, but the people that are in the industry are struggling to meet the positions that are out there. They're not seeing them, and they're not being available at that time for these positions. So the platform actually helps that. But now I think with the visibility of other platforms, the positions are out there, the technicians are out there, they're just not matching.
Thank you so much for that background, Dave, because I think that's also the reality of that there are opportunities out there, but visibility is a very big part of that. And I think what you've just talked about kind of segues us very nicely into the next segment that we're talking about, which is where you help us really to understand and explain where the inspiration of BHiveLive came from, and as well as your experience within the space. So you're welcome to take the floor for the next segment, Dave.
Thank you. So basically, I'd been working for a OEM company and transitioned into my own business, and finding employees at that time was okay because we were only very small. However, as the business grew and the projects became bigger, requiring larger workforce, we were up in Scotland on a Sunday night preparing for the Monday morning project when I received a message from one of our key team members to say that he actually wouldn't be able to get up to the project in time because of a family issue. So there I am on a Sunday evening, project starting Monday morning, huge costs involved, cranes and support personnel, and I had no option to fill that role in time for Monday morning. So you can imagine the cost involved. So that's where it was born.
And that's essentially a crisis, because a lot of us, when you're doing a project, when you're doing and starting off a project, that can be so daunting. And I just share like a background. I'm here right now, and there was a Cape Town marathon that was scheduled to happen, and because of last minute call and the wind, the elements, they had to essentially cancel the marathon. And I can imagine the amount of money that went down the drain. Just getting to a point as an executive where you have to make that decision to lose money. So it definitely did stem from a place of a lot of professionals in the space surely do go through that, whether it's getting the right person with the right expertise on time. And it also makes a lot of sense as to why BHive had to come to life. Tony, would you love to weigh in on just the background of how BHive started?
Yeah, I think what Dave shared is very important, interesting companies in the space, whether you're talking about solar or wind, and even myself. Because I remember when I kicked off in this job, I was one of the first. That's a big project I had to do was to run a team of commissioning engineer, and then that was for various solar plant that was across the UK. And I remember because I was running a team of technicians, and we sometimes when you will win a project or even within a project that you already have, the client will want you to deploy a team or to deploy an additional personnel for a new site they acquire, within a short space of time. It was always a scramble because you need to go through, find those people, interview them, agreeing whatever wages, salary you have with them, deploy them. And to be honest, a lot of the time, I have to say they were not necessarily quality people. Why? Because you didn't get enough time to
Yeah.
properly screen them, look at them. So yeah, and but the turnover was very high. It was very, very high. I still remember that. So I definitely abide to what they were saying. And all of that, it's really damaging with your relationship with the client. It's very damaging. You're also losing money, and you get
Yeah.
into a lot of issues with those contractors, employees. So it's a serious problem. Yeah, that's what I'll say. So, and if you don't have the right staff to execute the job, guess what? You also won't be the project won't be going very far. So yeah, that's what I definitely resonate. It looks like nothing, but it's primordial.
Mm.
Yeah, that's how I say
I
it.
think what you just touched on is very powerful, Tony, because essentially talking about the process of hiring, the process that it takes, and also if the process is not refined, you might not get the quality candidates that you are looking for. And I think I'd love to then ask this question to Dave in terms of please explain to us why then traditional CVs are outdated and also create limited opportunity, especially today's market where there's a lot of data that drives the decisions that an employee or an employer is making.
Yeah, so I think the way the recruitment industry is currently is it's heavily dependent on human interaction, and you require a traditional job post to go out. Then you're waiting on candidates to apply. Then you have to sift through their CVs or any other platforms data that they've inputted, and then you have to assess that, and then you have to interview. Well, that takes days, even weeks,
Mm.
sometimes a month, depending what level of candidate you're looking for. So
Yeah.
if you've got all the relevant data all digitized in one place, then it streamlines everything. Instead of
Mm.
crawling through hundreds of applicants, you can literally cherry pick instead.
Mm. And that's exactly what we need in today's this economy, efficiency. And I think the Beehive platform definitely helps us to be able to do exactly that, be more efficient. Tony, would you love to weigh in on this question as well?
Yeah. So definitely. So like I said, like I was saying on the back of what I just initially said. So if you, like Dave was saying, so if you're not being able to properly screen the candidate that you have and you put them into to a project, I think it causes more problem than solutions later, because as I say, you will do everything you can to see how you can find a short-term fix, but you never really
Mm.
address the roots of the problem. And at times,
Mm.
when you get to do it, you get to a point where it's a little bit too late sometimes to salvage the relationship that you've had or the damage that you've caused with the client. So that's why it's very, 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 very sensitive thing to do. And it's also painful because there's a lot of talent out there that really can be doing a brilliant job into the industry. We just not tapping into them. Maybe because we don't always take the time to
Mm.
properly screen them and bring them on board. Because no,
Mm.
because most of the time, and that obviously comes to me as well when I jump into the industry. I was coming from automotive industry. I was already an engineer. I think I've always been told the beautiful thing about being an engineer is that you have transferable skills. But trust me, it was
Yeah.
difficult to move across still. Yeah. So you have to
Mm.
demonstrate that those skills were applicable. So and the way the current recruitment agencies working, and to be honest, I don't blame them, I understand them. So they want to
Mm.
find the best client possible, the best candidate possible for their client, and they've been given a
Mm.
robot profile. If you don't tick those boxes, even if you have the skill, they don't care because it has to be it has to be
Mm.
what fits the bill. That's why as a new person getting into the industry, sometimes difficult to get into the industry working through those traditional channels because you just
Mm.
not what they're looking for. Whereas I may be coming from maritime, like Dave said, but obviously I've been able to run, let's say, project or web site where we had like I don't know 500 people working. I was happy to I was able to supervise them properly. So I should be
Mm.
able, if you transfer me into wind project site, basically, I should be able to perform. Now, what I need at the beginning, maybe somebody to explain me a little bit how the environment works, but I should be able to adapt very quickly. And this kind of thing, the traditional system for me, this is where it's a little bit broken. So I had personally that problem. That's why I actually, so that actually what also led me to become an engineer because I was thinking, if nobody can give me a dream job, let me make my own dream job. So that's actually what led me
Yeah.
here.
I truly love that perspective, especially what you just lot said right now, which is if I can't get the dream job, maybe I should go ahead and create the perfect dream job for me. And I think when you also think about what the platform is offering, it's essentially giving you an option of all these different kind of jobs that are you as a candidate might stand out for you. And I think the cherry picking can happen from the company side that is picking the candidate, but it can also happen from the candidate side in terms of which job applications that you pick for yourself, whether it's something that's within your scope or something that you imagine yourself involving in within your career. So I love that you mentioned. I think that's very, very powerful. And it also helps us to understand something about how the automation process. Dave, you mentioned this very briefly, where you mentioned that currently our hiring process is very, very human centered. Can you please just delve a bit deeper into us and helping us understand the power of BHive, of the BHive platform, in helping us understand the power of automation in the streamlining this process, as well as just live candidate visibility.
Yes. So there is a place in the industry for recruiters, because there are places where high level candidates will need to go through the vetting process. But in regards to the blue collar workers, it requires a faster process, which isn't available at present. So what we need is, and what BHive provides, is a profile of that candidate with all the information there presentable in one place. So the employer can literally look at the profiles that they have filtered through the process of entering the data that they require in a candidate. So we have a five pillar filtering system where they go for job title, location, price, skills, and then obviously availability. Because without availability, what's the point of looking at a CV? So
Exactly.
that really is key to the speed of the platform.
I love the 5-step process. I think, like anything, it also becomes part of the refining process, but the refining process is in part automated, especially things like around location, prices. I know that's a very, very big one. People sometimes are often frustrated that there are job opportunities that are listed online, but they are necessarily not very transparent about the pricing, and when you look at it, it sounds like a dream job and worth applying for. But if you're someone that has a background or is a more matured professional, you do want to know what you are signing up for. So I really love that part of the 5-step process is also a lot around transparency, really transparency, both from the candidate's perspective as well as the person that's hiring or recruiting. So thank you so much for those insights. And Tony, are there any final sayings that you'd like to weigh in before we go into our second segment?
Well, I think like everybody, I'm very much eager to look at what Dave has prepared for us here in terms of the platform. Because like I say, anything that can help and support the industry, I'm always up for it. And yeah, so that I think I probably will have lots of questions like most of you afterwards.
All right, so like Tony just mentioned, with no further ado, let's hop into our second segment, where Dave will be basically taking us on a demo, and to help us understand how does the BHiveLive platform work. And this is very vital, especially for candidates. It just will show you that the simple, like you said, the step processes that you can experience on the platform. But I'll leave all the talking and the explaining up to Dave as he walks us through the user journey. I'm so excited for this, Dave. Knock it out.
Thank you. Okay, so let's share my screen. You should be
All
able to
right.
see my screen now.
Yes, we are ready to log into our account.
Okay, that's brilliant. So this is the home screen that you'll come onto once you've signed up from the landing page, and this will be the create a new account page. So you simply click the new account button, and then you start entering your detail just as you would any other membership platform. Create an account. Obviously, we want to verify your email, and then that's it. You've basically created your first account. Obviously, we need more details than just your name and your email. So then we go into the candidate section of the platform.
Yeah.
This now will take you through the basics that the employers are going to need. So we start off with your location and towns, cities, area code, all these little pieces, rates, what currency you're going to use, phone number. And then this one, choose a contact method. So when you're out and about, you want to choose your own contact method that you can get the results as quick as possible. So either email or phone. We will add text message later in the development. Then you start adding your services. So for this instance, we're going to use acoustics, and then we can, oh, there we go, acoustics, sorry. And then we just add, once you've edited all the data, it'll add this into your list. So basically a bit of experience. And there they are.
Mm,
On to the next phase, then you start adding your qualifications. So again, you enter, so IRATA, your number, what level you are, and the expiry date of your qualification. Again,
mm,
very difficult, not too complicated. Keep it very
yeah.
simple so you can go through the process very simply. And there you are. There's your profile built in
Wow.
literally a couple of minutes. And then
Oh,
obviously that gives the employer everything they need to know if you were applying for a job. But what if the company were looking for the candidate? Well, then they need to know if you're available. So then we have
mhm,
the calendar option. So here in the calendar, if the company is looking for you, they can put in their dates and they can see if you're available between here and here. But
mm.
what if suddenly you had a new project come in that you wanted to block out? Well, very simply, you just add in a new
Oh, wow.
item within your calendar where you're going to
Mm,
be, and then add that to the calendar, and now it blocks out those 2 weeks, and now you're not available for those 2 weeks. So
mm,
ultimately you can be available or not available depending on your work schedule or your even your personal life, which takes a side step when you're working as definitely as a contractor. So
yeah.
that's just a quick overview of where we are right now. Obviously, there's the other side from employer, but we'll get onto that on another day.
Mm. I just love how simple this is. It's literally, it's so simple. It's as simple as typing an email. And I think that's the crazy part about it. I would love to ask the people like myself who love to do a little bit too much. Are there also options on the platform to add like extra links to past work, or maybe even seeing the work that we've done?
Yeah, so that's all in experience. So you can just click add, and then you can add another experience as you build up your profile. We don't want it too complicated because we want it built for speed, really. So if you're going through the 5 pillars, then you're going to be at the top of the list for that position, and then you can get into deeper conversations with the employer at that point.
Ah, this is beautiful. I just love it. It really does what it promises, which is efficiency and speed. And I love that. That's really what we need in kind of a climate like today. Tony, what are your thoughts on this amazing, streamlined, very efficient platform? Thank you, Dave,
Yeah,
for
for me,
demonstrating.
for me, for me, it's very practical. I love it. I just love it. It's really, as Dave says, very simple, straight to the point, and people
Mm,
also could see the availability because this again, you losing a lot of time. I mean, I'm saying it because I've been in a position where I needed to recruit people very quickly. You lose
mm,
so much time as well, giving them a call, finding out are they available, not available, matching them with the client. That
mm,
and something like that with it's simple, but like I say, that's for me the best innovations. Yeah, it's something that makes sense, but you got to think about it. So just having a calendar there where people could see, okay, what is the quotes, what is this, what is the skills, competence, the availability, done essentially. So it's basically as a potential employer. So I have most of the information I need to see whether it's something I like to I like to talk to or not. And guess what? You even have their details. You can pick up basically literally as you look at that, you can just pick up your phone and call the person and have a conversation right there and close the deal. So I think it's brilliant. It's simple and brilliant. That's the kind of thing that we need. That is,
mm,
And
I think.
it's sorry, Tony, it's a very simple question. Once you've been through the filter system, you're absolutely right. You can just pick up the phone and speak to the candidate, and they've already aligned on all the aspects of the position that you're offering. So it's a basic question. I have a position, you match everything. Would you like this job? That's it. And unless they know you and they don't want to work with you again, why would they say no?
That's a
Exactly.
that's a very good that's a very good point. So no, I think that's great. I love it. I think you've done a grand job there so far, Dave. I think
Thank you
that's
very
it.
much. Appreciate that.
I think obviously when we come to the Q&A, I'll be very curious to see what people have to say. But it's a quick question for you, Dave. Dave, I'm sure Bab will have one for you as well. In fact, plenty for you. So, uh, when are you planning to get it out of the? I know you're already testing the waters, but when do people expect to see it fully live and playing with that?
So we're in the process right now of live testing with live candidates. They're going through the process of making sure that each element of the platform is friction free. So
Mm,
they can get from entering their name at the beginning to having their profile without having any stumbling blocks. Because we all know we've been on many websites before. They've asked us to sign up for something and then it gets a little confusing. And what do? You close the app. So that's one of our key processes right now. But once we've been through that, we should be launching sometime next year, early next year.
mm.
Terrific.
This is very simple, and I think something just came up in one of the audiences just mentioned in the comments in the comment section that and maybe this is also a question to Dave. I know particularly there's a focus on energy projects, renewable projects. Do you think in the future, because of how simple and efficient this is, I think this is something that's needed across all different sectors? Does Beehive Live consider this going to the future to go into other sectors?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to get it out into the renewable energy sector first because that's the sector I'm familiar with. But in the early days when we started this, we've been trying to get this right for a couple of years now, and we've already been in discussions with aviation and maritime, and there's definitely scope to go into hospitality and construction and basically any industry really that you need to find staff quick and quality and available. They're just areas that just need to be streamlined. So any industry really.
Powerful. And I think with what Tony mentioned, just when he was beginning, coming from an automotive background and then moving to a renewable background, it would also create, if I may add, Tony, less friction as well as you're trying to move across different industries as you build out your career, right, Tony?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's what it is. I think personally,
Mm,
I really love it. really love what I've seen,
mm.
and I'm sort of proud to be able to walk alongside Dave to for something like that. Like as I say, the best innovation in pretty much any sector is something that's very simple, makes sense, but you gotta think about it. The thing. So it's actually difficult to make something simple if you think about it.
Yeah, yep.
And
Because
that's
we are.
what and that's what obviously Dave is it's looking at. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, um, Tony. And I think this has a segue into our next third segment, which is we just talked about something very powerful that eventually Beehive Life would love to go into many other different sectors. And this just goes to show us how the recruitment industry is changing. You know, a lot of things change over the years, especially when technology comes into play. And I think my question to you, Dave, is just from the past and having created Beehive Live and what you know what it can do, what do you foresee for the next 5 years? What does recruitment look like in the next 5 years? And maybe you can also share some things, just like you said, that Beehive is looking at, Beehive Live is looking at, thinking through.
Yeah, so the biggest change will be a shift from process-driven recruitment to data-driven matchmaking, really. Traditional hiring, posting jobs waiting for CVs and filtering manually will be replaced by live talent ecosystems where candidates and employees are instantly connected through automation, verification, and ultimately availability data. Uh, I believe that the recruitment's becoming a real-time experience, not a transaction. Hiring
Yeah.
decisions will increasingly rely on live readiness, data, verified skills, and automated matchmaking. And it will cut the hiring time by about 80% on our case studies so far.
That's powerful. 80%. And I think that's powerful, particularly also with, I mean, I'm from South Africa. Yes, Tony?
No, that's fine. You can carry on. Sorry.
Oh, I was saying I'm from South Africa. And in South Africa right now, I'm going to talk also at the border across sectors. In South Africa right now, we're having a serious unemployment issue. And it's really bad. And I think a platform like this would be able to create a solution for whether it's youth, it's particularly youth that are unemployed in South Africa. So I think a solution like this can answer also some of those problems contextually from where I'm from. Yes, Tony?
You move.
Yes, yes. I think yes. I agree with you. That is that's what I was saying. So there's a lot of talent out there, personally, I think, right? And the question is, how do we bring them in, and how do we break barriers for them, and how do we, at times, not always, because let's not say that they're not useful, they're definitely useful, but at times we may want to go around the middleman as well. At times, maybe because they're having some of the constraints that I mentioned before. But you need to find a way to bring talent in, and in a continent like Africa and South Africa, more specific, as talking about, which is the leader in terms of renewables energy in the continent, and has a very vibrant sector. Renewable energy is very vibrant in South Africa. How do you bring those people in, and how do you develop a local supply chain? So these are tools like that that personally I want to see. Personally, I would love, like I said, I'm hoping you will help out. I would love to see a lot of young people in the continent, really flooding the platform from Dave. Say, hey, I'm available. I want to work. So how can we do? Because opportunity are in Africa, but also globally, because renewables energy is a global industry. And you see, for example, if you go to a big wind site, and I know that one of my good friend, Alfonso, he couldn't make it today, but he tells me in the team, it's so multicultural, right? So that means these opportunity with the platform that Dave is building, it's available to these guys. They just need to know that, yeah. So, but they need to showcase themselves professionally, and that's what, especially if you're not very keen on, or you don't know too much how to build a CV, guess you can build one live, like I say. So the platform does it for you, and yeah, I think it's brilliant, and I really, really would. That's why we so keen on supporting this, because I know it's a route to market, to this
Yeah,
for this
yeah.
guy. Yeah.
As you
Essentially,
say that, you can go
sorry,
ahead, Dave.
essentially, recruitment will evolve from being reactive and human dependent to being proactive, fair, and continuously live.
hmm That's very, very true. That's very, very true. And I think also the approach that we've taken is seamless. And as you were saying, Tony, um, it's so crazy how a platform like this becomes a solution in a context like South Africa. But also you're solving a big, big problem. And like Tony said, we have a um, very vibrant population of entrepreneurs coming into the renewable space. And so you really are being part of the big change that's happening, or that's in the process of happening in the next 5 years. And you mentioned that it's going to move from just um, reactive to proactive. And I think I'd love to understand, Dave, how does live data then empower professionals and candidates to be able to take basically charge of their career growth?
Basically, like I said, the passive job seeker will become an active participant in their own growth journey. On BHiveLive, candidate profiles are dynamic They update automatically through AI reminders and skill verification. This means their availability, certifications, and experience will always be current. With a CV, it's out of date as soon as you sent it out. So when employers search, they will see who's ready now, not who was ready last year.
Mm.
The transparency creates empowerment. Professionals can see their market value in real time, identifying gaps in their skill set, and they can train to fill that, and they can stay visible to the global opportunities that are out there that they don't need to chase. They can be simply allocated to those positions. But in short, live data gives ownership back to the worker, making them discoverable, employable, and in control of their visibility.
Mm. What you're saying is so true. Because for myself, I don't know how many CVs I do have in my drive. I have Babalamni CV May, 2025. Then I have September. I am always updating my CV. Sometimes I do send the wrong one. But I think just sharing that live data and the value of live data as well, because we are ever evolving, we're ever changing, we're also ever growing. And I don't want to lie, maybe I'm one of those people that are also lazy to update my CV because there's so much I get done in a short space of time. And it can also be overwhelming and maybe kind of daunting to just sit there and have to then think about things that you've done in the past couple of 6 months, and in there's so much growth that you've had. But if you have a system that you can constantly update live, um, is perfect. And did you know, Dave, that when you grow up, you'd be a matchmaker?
That was the most furthest thing from the truth I could think of, to be honest.
I think, Tony, I'd love, since we talked about South Africa, I would love to ask, with just the demo and like Dave said, there being a live demo that's happening at the moment, why do you think Africa is the best place to lead this recruitment evolution?
Well,
And,
we you can hear me, right? Yes. Okay. We touched on that a little bit before. It's simply because, 60% of the populations, it's under 20 or so in the continent. We're a continent of 1.5 billions. I don't know if you know, between now and 2050, we're going to add another billion. So minimum. So you can look at what, so that means all these people, I usually say to people, so these are young people. If you don't give them a livelihood, they're going to make sure that they go wherever you are to make you pay for
mm,
that, right? So we need to give them, I mean, at where we are, we need to open up opportunities for them, and that's what they need. A lot of them are very talented getting to the market because we have a very young, vibrant workforce. How can we pull them in the sector? So what are they? We need different kind of innovation, and that is an innovation that could potentially work because I say the current system I think serve us well, but it took us to where we are. But to go where we want to be, we may want to look at something else, basically. Yeah, because if we keep on applying something that we could see has its limitation, I wouldn't say it doesn't work. It works, but it has a limitation. That's what we all agreeing. So you now need to think outside the box. And I think that that's what the solution brings. And with so many people that we need to employ and that we can bring into the sector for a continent that has so many resources, 60% of solar resources is in Africa, right? And Africa as a continent, the solar industry, for example, represent only 1% of the global capacity. Wind is about the same. So that means that with all the resources that we have, we're not exploiting that enough. And part of the reason is beside the regulatory challenge, the technical challenge, we also have capacity building, right? And also, how do we do that capacity? How do we bring people in? And how do you showcase them to the global players? So that's what the platform does. And like I say, we have a lot of people who believe we could test and potentially looking to see if they can break the system for Dave to make something even better.
mm, powerful. I think right there and then, Tony, you're talking about something that's very powerful, and that's essentially fairness. That every candidate on the platform will get an opportunity for visibility, and there's there will be no bias whether you're from Africa or we're from Germany. Everyone gets an equal opportunity to have equal opportunity or access, equal access to a global opportunity. And I think, particularly in Africa as well, one of the biggest, like I said, there's a lot of talent. How can we bring them all into one space? And also, when they're in that space, sometimes they struggle with access. And I think the Beehive Live platform basically tackles that problem, which is the problem of market access. I don't know how many meetings I've gone into, and the biggest thing that we're trying to solve essentially is market access. So I think it's a very, very big solution to a big problem that is persisting in Africa. And Dave, I would love to hear your thoughts as well on this particular question on why, from your perspective, is Africa the best place to lead the recruitment evolution?
Well, the resources in Africa are just endless on so many levels, and like Tony says, in sorry, the amount of people that are going to be added to that workforce by 2035, they'll have the largest working age population on Earth. So with that availability, it needs to be visible. And if it's not visible, it's just a wasted resource. And we're not just looking to uh, take the workforce out of Africa. We want it local as well. We want them to be improving their surroundings, helping their countries build up their economies, not just take out the resources out of Africa, because Africa's an amazing country that has so much things going for it, which has been overlooked for, well, not overlooked, but just taken for so long, and now it's Africa's turn to show the world what they're capable of.
Thank you so much. There's a shirt that we love wearing here in South Africa, and it's by a famous designer. I forgot what their name is, and it's basically called "Africa, Your Time Is Now." You know, which I think is
I've seen it.
such a relevant. You've seen it. We love that shirt. Like I don't. Somebody, every second person has that shirt in their closet here in South Africa. But I think because we truly resonate with that saying, like Africa, your time is now, whether it's the opportunity being local or the opportunity being global. You know, and I remember once speaking to my mentor in the space, Kalnisha, and I think also in the process, what Beehive, the Beehive Live platform is doing is we have young people that want to be in the space, but because the industry, like they say, is unsexy because you have to travel these long distances or be away from friends, away from people. It's quite demanding. But I think being able to a certain degree, own your time by saying, okay, I'm going to be gone for X amount of time while I'm on this trip. It also does give you some flexibility around just your time, which is also a very valuable resource as a candidate. And I think that's also something maybe at the back of their minds, candidates could be very that could be enticing to candidates that also want some form of flexibility of time.
Yeah, let me chip in very quickly here. So,
Yeah.
if you don't mind, just to remind people that we actually broadcasting for multiple platforms. So we're on Zoom here, but we're also on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and also Facebook. And on LinkedIn, I've been checking. So definitely, I've covered people have sort of comments on the platform. I think there's one thing that's really good: transparency in recruitment based on your skill. So the person really loves it. And obviously, Paul, that you know well, Dave, also has responded, said that over 80% of people on the African continent have a mobile phone, and using BHiveLive will enable them with the mobile phone. So just to say that people are also watching us, should be watching us from LinkedIn, and they seem to be liking what they're seeing. Yeah, that was it.
Good news.
Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you so much, Tony. I think transparency is something that any candidate that would be valuable for any candidate, especially in the era that we are going, the digital era that we are going into. Transparency is honestly everything. It's that currency that actually builds trust. And I think that's also what I believe this is what Beehive Live platform is banking on, essentially being able to establish that trust. from a candidate's perspective, but also from an organization's perspective. Is that correct, Dave?
Yeah, that's one of the cornerstones of our mantra, basically. Honesty, trust. If you've got them, you can go a long way, and that works from both sides, the candidate and the company. Like you said earlier in this conversation about the salaries not being as clear as they might be. Now, with BHiveLive, if you're saying this is my value, the employer automatically knows where you're sitting, that your time is worth, the time that you've put into your skills, your profession. They're all there to be offered to the employer, and the employer will see the value in those skills, and obviously the value that they will be paying for those.
Exactly. Wow. It's such a powerful platform. As you're talking about salaries, there's a part in the demo that was my favorite. And it was essentially asking what currency you want to be paid in. Now, anyone loves that question. That's a really great question. But it also opens you up to just, once again, so many opportunities out there. If you want to get paid in pounds, you can get paid in pounds. If you want to get paid in pula, you can get paid in pula. You know, the world is honestly yours. And I think this is a beautiful opportunity for us to actually, like you mentioned, Tony, there's a couple of comments that are coming up on LinkedIn and all these other platforms. So I'd love to open up the floor at this particular point to our audience. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts? And Tony, if you could catch some of those questions for me, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've been let me just look at that. So apologies if I'm not taking them in order, but I'm just gonna jump on it. So somebody says, what about remote job interviews for solar engineer in Nigeria? Can you kindly throw some lights into it? So the person want to know, for example, if somebody wanted to do some job interviews for people, for solar engineer, for example, in Nigeria, how could the platform enable it? I guess that's what he wants to know. He or she wants
Yeah,
to know.
so
In fact,
so so
in
go
fact,
on,
let us do
Tony.
something. Sorry, apologies, Dave. I want to do something. I want to see if Tito is still online because I wanted to get him to ask the question himself. If it's still, no, okay, it's not around anymore. But do respond to that. But for the other people, if they're around, we're gonna allow them to ask themselves, ask the question, yeah, themselves. Yeah.
Okay, so the question was about interviews. So we have so many features lined up for the future, and one of the features will be the twofold. One, a pre-recorded interview, so you can explain who you are, what you've done, and where you've been. So that's one side, and then obviously the in platform live video meets. So you can, doesn't matter where you are in the world. Like today, we're in America, UK, and Africa for this meeting. So there's no problem with having meetings across countries around the world now. So that's a feature that will be added later down the line.
Excellent. I think Tilo also was asking one question, so I'm just going to get all of this question before I move to Parminder. Parminder, I'm just going to come to you next. Is BHiveLive app out on Google Play Store?
Not as yet. Yeah, we did have it out there a couple of years ago while we tested the platform. We used a white label just to see if there was traction and the industry wanted it, and we gained 3,000 members at that time, and that's just been increasing over the past years. So it's not available yet, but coming to a app store soon.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much for that, Dave. So I think I have now, Parminder, I'm just going to unmute you so you can ask the questions. Let me just unmute you.
Thank you. No, but gosh, this is, you guys, you don't know how okay, let me get it. I just been trying to recruit or find offline editor for a series I'm making about an African entrepreneur, his entrepreneurial journey. I tell you, I've spent 5 weeks going through the old process, Dave. It's horrible. So I'm looking forward to your platform. And I'm sorry I joined late, but I will catch up with it. It's very exciting. I guess my other is not a question, but also to say that the opportunity, as certainly Tony has already elaborated on, and my obviously passion is African entrepreneurs and SMEs across the continent, the lifeblood of the continent. And and I know as entrepreneurs, there's never enough time in the day to be able to do all of that. And recruitment is the biggest headache for all of those SMEs. So I really see your product, your amazing app really should be targeted to that critical audience, that critical audience across the continent. So, but thank you for building it, developing it, testing it, and thank you, Tony, for supporting it and using the renewable energies as a launch pad for it. Yeah. So thank you.
Thanks for that,
Parminder,
Parminder. So yeah, come yeah, please,
Parminder,
Dave.
yeah, thank you very much for the support. I really appreciate that. As you know, you can get a camera very easily and set it up at the set or wherever you need it. All these mechanical parts of what you do is the easy part of any process, but it's always the human element that takes the time. So that is what we need to streamline here. So I hope in the future we'll be entering the entertainment industry also. So I hope we can support you in your troubles.
Thank you. No, but entrepreneurs is the first port of call, okay, for your product. It's
Absolutely. Thank you.
fantastic. Thank you.
Appreciate
Pleasure.
appreciate that. Let's go to Yaro. Yaro, you should be online. I've unmute you. If you could speak. Yaro, can you hear us? I could see you were asking a few questions. Yeah, Yaro is here, but can you hear us? Otherwise, I'm just gonna ask your questions. But unmute yourself if you can. And I'm just gonna look at the first question for Yaro. He was asking, okay, in what ways can live profile help bridge opportunity gap for early careers professional or those from the developing countries? Yeah. I think we kind of responded to that, but maybe Dave, you may want to chip in again. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I hark back to the amount of people that are out of work. So it doesn't matter whether you're looking for a new career or you're starting a new career or your first steps into industry. This platform will give you visibility ultimately. At the moment, Yarrow may be sat in his town and he might have put out a few CVs to local companies, but that's it. It's very, very small, very niche. With the BHiveLive platform, he becomes a massive presence on the internet. So if anybody enters the platform looking for Yarrow with his skill sets, his location, he will be there and visible and available. That's how simple the platform makes recruitment and hiring.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I think I'm going to take another question from Yaro before I take a couple of questions from LinkedIn that I've received. So the other question from Yaro was, I think it's a bit long. Let me just read that. So Yaro, like I say, if you could hear me, you can unmute, but if not, I'm just going to ask your question, right? So
Yeah, I
ask
can hear
company like, oh, Yaro is here. Okay. Hey, Yaro, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
It has actually
Hi.
been an insightful webinar so far, so good. My name is Yaro Samuel Adegizi here from Nigeria. I'm the VP, Vice President of Solar Interchangeable Panels. So my question goes like this: as company like ours, which is the meaning solar interchangeable panels, energy solution, develop groundbreaking clean energy system, what's the best way to showcase our innovation and impact beyond traditional cities, especially when expanding into emerging markets like Africa, because the company is not yet based in Africa and we want to carry out a project over here in Africa.
Okay, so you basically want to showcase your company to other areas of Africa. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so once so you'll be coming on as a employer, so you will be able to tender for product projects in other parts of Africa, not just Nigeria. And that when you tender for a project, then you'll be able to allocate staff in that area rather than uh, taking expensive journeys with staff from Nigeria, say across the country to Liberia. It would cost you a fortune. So this will streamline your business, and with the savings that gives you, you'll be able to expand quicker.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
Another question, Yaro, or you good? I think I think it was saying, let me just unmute you again, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, excellent, no problem.
Thank you.
So thanks for that. So let me just there's a couple of questions that I got from LinkedIn that somebody sent me in my inbox. So okay, the first question is, what market are BHiveLive targeting as a priority?
Okay, so priorities right now is Africa and Europe. We want to establish a foothold in these markets first before we take on the rest of the world.
Okay, excellent. That's actually straightforward. So is there any other questions from somebody from the floor here? If not, I'm just going to continue with question I've received from LinkedIn. So let me just check. If there's Brian, is the question that I've missed, just let me know, but I don't see any. Okay, another question I received from LinkedIn is, okay, what business model are you following? Is that subscription? If yes, how much will it be?
Okay, from the candidate side, we're being so fair. It's free to start with. So basically, upload all your information, and then the platform is free. And then what we've decided is that we want you to tell us that there's value. So if you're getting value out of the product, then you will be receiving job opportunities and ultimately work. If you are able to gain 20 days work through the platform, then the price of the membership will be 1 day's pay. So whatever your rate is for a day, that will be the price of your membership for the year. And the membership will start from the day not the day you sign up, but the day you pay for your membership. So it's free until then, and then it's just 1 day's pay for the membership for the following year.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. Thanks for that. So then there's a question from Paul, who was actually following us from LinkedIn. I think I must admit we had about at some point 15 people joining from LinkedIn. That's great. So he said, I have a question for you all. Have you all been asked by a recruiter to change your CV to suit the job description? That's a very good. So let me just ask to Bab. I think she respond to that.
Yes, yes. I remember this was a very interesting back when I was in varsity and we were working on CVs, etc. And they said to us that you always have to change your CV based on the job description that you're applying for. And like I mentioned, I don't really love updating my CV. So there was always that catch 22 situation that happened. But I think, like Dave said, because of the live data driven, essentially, way that the platform is set out, I don't need to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, I think I would say the same. I have had to do that. I don't do that anymore, but I've had to do that multiple times before. Where obviously the recruiter will tell you, hey, you want to put this forward because of blah blah blah. And to be quite fair, even for some projects that we're doing, at times you need to join CVs and the team that how we respond to the task. And yeah, at time you're having to do it. Yeah, to change the job to suit the description of the CV to suit the job description. So I guess
Yeah.
Paul is I must say for people watching. So Paul Carter, he's Dave's business partner. So he was meant to be with us, unfortunately, like I say, so he was called up by work, so he could not do that. That's why. So, but I can see that he can't focus on what he's doing at the moment because he's actually been very active on LinkedIn, and yeah. So yeah, is there anything that you wanna comment on that on the question that Paul asked, or is because I'm sure he's asking that because probably BHiveLive is solving that problem to some respect, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So the CV is like a false candidate, really, because the recruiters they ultimately want to get paid for allocating the candidate to the company. Now, I'm not saying this happens uh, broadly across the industry, but it definitely happens. I know I had that experience when I was an employer and the recruiters were coaching the staff that the candidates that they were putting forward, and they were okay in the interviews, but as soon as we got them on site they weren't really up to what they were coached on. So it's definitely been a case in the industry, so it needs to be rooted out.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks for that. So I
And can I
don't.
say something,
Yes,
Tony?
yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I say something? I think this goes back to some of the pillars that Beehive Live was mentioning, which is transparency. Um, yeah, I think it becomes, once again, that kind of pillar becomes very powerful. Transparency and what someone writes on their CV is what will be in front of the employee or the employer.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's very good. I think we don't have any other questions on Zoom. I
All
not see
right.
anything on LinkedIn. So yeah, I think feel free to carry on. But that was a good question there. So good Q&A.
Yeah, that was a very good question, Ryan. Everyone had so many questions, but I love that everyone's favorite question was, where can we find it? How much can we pay? I think these are questions that anyone who's in a demo stage definitely wants to hear. And Tony just dropped also the socials in the chat box, so please have a look, guys, in the chat box. I know that this is such a beautiful but also interesting and very deep topic that's relevant to a lot of us on this particular call, hence why we're in this industry. And I know that we don't want us to close off, but I am going to bring up our exit poll, just from all the things that we've been mentioning today and sharing about this topic that's very, very relevant. Please let us know just what your thoughts are. So we're going to be doing an exit poll, and Mr. Tony Teo is going to be heading over to that
Yes.
webinar poll. We just want to know, how valuable was today's webinar for you? I think I might answer that for some of you guys because of the quality of the questions that you guys were asking. Also, would you like to receive updates or job alerts from Beehive Live? Absolutely. I think for anyone who's in the industry right now looking at growing, particularly young people as well, use the platform, especially that it's free before you get value from it. I think, thank you, Dave, to you and your team. Once again, you guys are answering the conversation of market access. So we are truly, truly, truly grateful. And yeah, the third question will be around which topic should we cover next. I think Ria is always, always excited, especially with this partnership with Beehive Live, excited about answering the questions that are relevant to the audience, which just make them be able to create a better platform for you guys. And yeah, also to Tony, thank you so much for creating this opportunity for us to just launch and showcase the Beehive platform.
Excellent. One quick thing. So, can you see the poll? Because I think I would like people to participate to that. So, unfortunately, on LinkedIn we can't see that. But so I rely on the people on Zoom to do it. So, if you could you see or not? It's just
I can see the poll. Yeah, it's very
okay,
live.
okay, okay.
You
So I
can
would invite
people.
people to respond to that. This is very helpful for us because it allows us to see what can we put together as well? Because like I say, you're giving us an hour of your time or even more than that in this case. So we want to make it's valuable for you. So that's collecting those feedback is important. And as you see, Dave has done a tremendous job developing the platform. We need you as well
Amazing.
to participate and tell us what is your thinking around that. So it's either my system doesn't work, but I'm surprised that I don't see responses. Usually, I always by this time have responses. Can you guys click or
Mm.
something's not working? If not, just let me know. I could see. Because I don't see even one. Maybe it doesn't work this time.
I don't see the poll actually, Tony.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
saying share results. I think maybe the poll might have closed.
uh, because yeah, I think I started another one. Okay. It's probably okay. You know what? I'm not gonna because it looks like there's something not working because I can see that nobody has actually clicked into that, not even one person. That means there must be something not working. No problem. No problem. I can tell you verbally what it was, and I think Bab has mentioned to you. So how valuable it was for you. So you can at least drop us as a comment. So was it valuable? Very valuable, somehow valuable, not valuable at all. So
Mhm.
drop your response in the comment section and give us your name so we know who responded. And so that question is that valuable or not? Tell us. Second, so would you like to receive updates from BHiveLive? Let us as well. So just say yes, I would like to, and we'll see who has responded to that. Yes, no, maybe later. So be honest. Like I say, we're not forcing anything. We simply want to know if it's genuinely something that you like to find out about. Yeah. Oh, all of a sudden now I could see somebody actually clicking. So yeah. So maybe people couldn't see because I think somebody has a okay, now people are responding to that. As soon as I say, would you
Oh
like
wow,
to
that's
hear
so
from
sad.
BI Live? So now people are responding. I could see responses. No problem. Let's
Live data, amazing.
yeah. So that's good.
Yay.
So let me give us another 20 seconds. I can show the display the results so we get an idea, and then
Mhm.
we will take it from there. So that's just a sample, right? That we're getting.
Yeah.
So like I said, unfortunately for our audience on Facebook, YouTube, and and LinkedIn, it doesn't appear because that's just a Zoom, but I guess they shouldn't be too different from what I'm seeing here. So I will just stop at this point and just for the interest of time and share the results so that you could see. So let me just share the
Yay.
result. You can see the result. I'm sharing the result. So it looks like people found it either very valuable or somehow valuable. So that's people in the Zoom. So
Mhm.
they all would like to hear from BI Live. Oh, if that's the case, please let me say that. And I'm just gonna drop it as well on the on LinkedIn. Please all go to the bhivelive.com website, and when you scroll down, you will see you can actually get yourself onto the waiting list. So do it right now, please, as we speak. And I
Mhm.
would really appreciate if you could do that because all of you attending, and I'm sure it will be the same, all those other platforms saying that yes, you would love to hear from Beehive Live. So that means the one thing that you have to do, just get yourself there. So make sure that you can subscribe. So as I'm speaking, I just want to make sure that yeah, I'm just gonna drop it as well on the other platform on LinkedIn. So yeah, I'm just gonna say join Beehive Live.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Yeah, and what I do, I'll last to let me finish that first of all, and yeah, and what was the third questions? Which was which topic should we cover? Oh wow, it's a bit split. Building your life profile effectively, interviewing for renewable
Mhm.
energy role, and there's a slight edge for connecting with employer globally. So that's very nice. It makes it nice.
Hmm.
We know that this is where we most likely would want to go. Excellent. So I'm just gonna stop
Hmm.
sharing. So the time for me just to say, people even responded. Excellent webinar. We should be waiting to light up Africa. That's great. Done. Yeah. So. Yeah, can't see. Oh, excellent. So it looks like the response is positive. I'm just gonna drop it as well on LinkedIn, but I'll allow for you, Bab, just to take us to the end. Yeah.
Hmm. Thank you so much, Tony. I think today's topic was just so valuable to many of us on this platform, and especially for myself. And these are the kind of conversations that we need to have happening. But I also love that the Beehive Live platform is solving problems that are being faced by employers or employees, and just solving a lot of the creating and basically making it frictionless, making the process from going from having a talent to being within a space and creating impact frictionless. I think that's also something, if I may add, Dave, that you are also piloting right now, and in the process of you really making talent to market access frictionless, essentially. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of just the audience as well. And I'd love to open up the floor to you, Dave, as well as you, Tony, for just any closing remarks that you guys have, particularly around the topic, particularly around some of the things that you touched on today.
Yeah, thank you, Pab. It's been really interesting today, especially the questions. I think ultimately the same with candidates. Unless people know you're out there, you're not going to move forward. So having presented this little segment of the Beehive Life platform today, I think it'll help volumes with getting the word out there that there is a better option. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. And yourself, Mr. Tio?
Well, I would say it was very interesting, especially I've rarely done webinar where we have sort of a lot of people from joining from all the different platforms at the same time following. That's actually quite interesting. And yeah, I love what I've seen. I think it's again, I'm just probably repeat myself is it's innovation, it's simple innovation, and that's the kind of innovation that really makes a big difference. And I would strongly encourage people to sign up and to the platform, especially as a candidate, is free for you. Maybe we should have started by that. It is free to for now. So we don't know when it won't be free anymore. So that means you're losing nothing by just showcasing yourself out there. An employer can find you and they can see when you're available and they can decide whether or not they want to employ you. So you lose nothing. So really, I would like you to jump onto that. In the continent of Africa, certainly in Europe as well, because those are the two markets that BHiveLive is supporting. And from our side, that's what we're all about, making sure that for people like Dave, giving them visibility, leads, but also the deal. Don't forget about that. So yeah, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much to you, Tony, as well as you, Dave, for creating such an amazing platform, but also a platform full of so much value, and that is destined to create a lot of impact. And thank you, Tony, once again for creating this platform. And also thank you to our audience for joining us today. Like Tony said, just joining us from all these different platforms that VIA has. We're so, so grateful for you spending an hour of your time with us. Truly grateful. And I think this topic for me was so valuable and also so powerful. The fact that, yes, we have these problems within the recruitment process or youth unemployment, but we also have solutions that are on the rise. And people such as Dave, as well as Paul, going out of their way to create these solutions. Thank you so much, guys. I was honored to moderate today's conversation, and thank you, Tony, for the opportunity once again. And yeah, for me, Babala, thank you.
Thank you very much. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna finish on music, and I'm just gonna leave last slide our email address if you want to reach out to me or to Dave, so that you know what to do. But from my side as well, so it really was a pleasure as usual anyway. But like I say, yes. So let's carry on the good work, guys. So pleasure.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Let me just finish with sharing our details so that people know where to find us. And
Always.
good.
Visibility
Yeah.
is everything.
Okay. And oh, sorry. And I think I'm just gonna have a little bit of music for us. Or let me just start with the music first. So 1 second. Excellent. Take care, guys.
Stars that twinkle in the night so bright, guiding paths with gentle light. Echoes of the past we hear, carried on